WaldoDude here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys some Battlefield 1942. So this is the goal of this session. Actually, was to get some flying in. This is on a map called Bocage, however you pronounce it. Everyone says it differently. Gosh, I don't know where to begin. There's so much to talk about. Okay, so this is the game that I basically broke my competitive FPS teeth on. It's what started everything. I just have way too much to say about it. I gotta get to the meat and potatoes first. Okay, so you see up in the upper right that mini map that is way too fucking big for the screen, by the way. That mini map, the red and the blue numbers up there are what called your tickets. Okay, so what happens is essentially when you're playing any given map, when you hold a majority of the flags in the map, that the other opposing team's tickets, I am allied, which is blue. So if we hold 2 out of 3 flags on this map, then the red tickets start to automatically go down every so often. It basically puts what they call a bleed on them. So the objective or the goal of basically any given map is to obviously run them out of tickets, right? And you can do that a number of ways. Like I said, number one is you establish a majority of control points, and then you start getting that ticket bleed. And 2 would be to every time you kill someone, it also takes off one of those tickets. So every time you die, and each time you spawn in, essentially that's one more ticket. That was a really shitty bomb. Still got him though. Anyway, okay, so the second thing is I am flying today. I have not had a lot of practice. Wow. I mean, let's try to be realistic. Don't blow it out of proportion. I was never one of the great pilots, ever. The fantastic pilots in Battlefield 42 would fly fucking circles around me. They were insane. They were very good. They can see that mini map there. They basically, the best pilot I ever saw was a guy named what the hell was his name? UT Steve, I think it was. Anyway, basically he bombed targets without ever seeing them. He got so good with so much practice that he was able to essentially look at his mini-map, see when the vehicles spawn on the mini-map, they show up with these little gray icons. And God, this guy's flying so slow, it's so weird. Just shooting people that are playing like bots. Anyway, he got so good at bombing that he basically, you couldn't shoot him. He was dropping bombs with precision aiming, one shot every time, and there was little you could do. I am definitely not playing like that. Anytime you're close enough to the ground to if you're dropping bombs and you're close enough to be shot on the ground, you're doing it wrong. The best pilots will be basically hanging out up in the air at cloud level. They will be coming down only part way. They'll be coming a very short way down and bombing you, and you'll have very little, if any, chance of shooting them whatsoever. This is horrific. This is noob flying at its finest. Low altitude. The only thing that I'm doing well, which you'll see an example of later, is the straight up and down loop bombing over top of the AA guns. As you can see, I got somebody behind me spamming. You have all these different views. I think there's 4 different views. There's like a front, a rear, a chase cam, and a cockpit. And it's really cool because you can spam these different views while being in your vehicle, and it gives you this perspective of being able to look around and things like that. So a really great player will spam those different views while they're playing to kind of help them out. You can see on the lower right you've got a certain amount of ammunition. You've got machine guns on the lower, the leftmost indicator on the lower right, and then you've got bombs. It kind of looks like torpedoes or something on the lower right, rightmost on the lower right. Anyway, you can refill those by flying over your airfield to get more. I don't know what the lead is on this. It really changed. This guy is flying so slow. I don't know what to do with myself. He's flying so low and so slow that it's bizarre. It feels like I'm playing bots, and I honestly don't know what to do here. This is bizarre. I'm basically slamming on the brakes, which is a huge fucking no-no. Oh, he's flying up in there. He's totally fucked. Then you can see I lost speed, so I was coasting back. So watch for the little icon to pop up. There you go. that means I was refilling my ammo and armor. Anyway, this is pretty fucking Noobtown flying. Hopefully I'll play a little bit more. It shouldn't take too long to polish up my skills. As you see, I get shot down and bailed out just in time, pulled my parachute, and I got hit my wreckage, died. I got a kill for that. Isn't that nice? Do a little fast forwarding action. God, I just have too much to talk about. I apologize if this seems like I'm rambling. Okay, so those numbers in the upper right-hand corner on the mini-map, those tickets, the Allied and Axis tickets, the way that number is determined, it's determined by a percentage, and that percentage is multiplied by the amount of total people that the server is set for. So for instance, 100% ticket ratio times 32 players will be half the amount that a 64 player server is set to. Likewise, I don't know what the fuck this idiot is doing in here, but he's dead. Likewise, if the tickets are set to a higher percentage, regardless of the numbers, they will also be higher. I mean, it kind of goes without saying. So, anyway, this server is one of the few servers that's up that I would consider a good server. Well, the reason why I consider it a good server is because it's set for 24 players. So this game at its peak, oh my god, this is such terrible bombing. I'll have to get some better flying for you. This is so embarrassing. This game at its peak was played at, it started off 12v12 and then it went to 10v10. In my opinion, 10v10 was far more enjoyable than 12v12 because it was less of a clusterfuck. Any server that is being played at an amount that is more than 12v12, otherwise known as 24 players max, is a clusterfuck. It's more than the game can handle. The game boasts being able to handle 64 players on its engine. I guess technically it can. But if you look at like the vehicle loadouts and things like that, I mean, there's only so many vehicles that spawn in, regardless of the amount of players that the servers are set for. So putting in 64 players guarantees that 90% of everyone is running around without vehicles, like looking like fucking idiots, and it's just a complete clusterfuck. Grenades are going off constantly. It's no different than any other FPS. You get way too many players playing this, and it starts turning into a clusterfuck. The goal here right now is basically I'm just trying to bomb some of these guys sitting at this flag. There's an AA that spawns right there. The AA is very deadly against planes and should be taken down. If you're a good bomber, you can basically come up and down on it. Right. Oh, I think we're gonna have to go for a little wing clip. Goodness. Oh, am I gonna? Yeah. This is too good. Oh, so satisfying. I remember back in the day, and it shouldn't take too long to get back there. My sensitivity might be a little too high too at the moment, but back in the day we would you'd be spawn camping somebody, and then depending on where they're spawning, you could basically fly by and wing clip more or less their entire team and kill everyone. It was kind of funny too, because sometimes the way that the physics work, it wouldn't necessarily kill them right away. It would just pick them and scoop them up with your plane. You could pull them like 1,000 feet in the air and then, you know, barrel roll and drop them. Some pilots who are better would... Oh, this guy's toast. Those are Tiger tanks. Those guys are... There's basically light tanks and heavy tanks, okay? So these guys, Axis side spawns with 2 Tiger tanks, which are heavy tanks. And he's fucked as well. And those tanks have more armor, and they hit much harder than a light tank. The downside... Oh, the balance in this game is, well... For most aspects, it's very nice. The heavy Tiger tank... The way that it's balanced out is basically... Oh, hold on, I gotta tell you guys about this. Okay, so you see this guy, right now this is straight up and down loot bombing. If you're more or less staying up top of him, there's this little cone that he can aim his gun in. He cannot shoot straight up and kill you. That's how those have to be approached. So, but because you lose speed so easy and blah blah blah, it's not necessarily so easy to do that. Anyway, so I'm black smoking here. Took out the AA cannon, so our B-17 can keep flying over and railing them. Gonna head back to base, bail out, try to grab another plane. Anyway, so you got light tanks, heavy tanks. The way the Tiger tank works is kind of interesting. The turret on it is very, very bouncy compared to like our heavy tank, which is the M10 that spawns on this map. So what that means is there's the strategy that people use for the Tiger tank is oftentimes to rock back and forth. They will roll forward and then roll back real quick, and that enables you to aim down and shoot somebody that might be underneath you or maybe right next to you, or get a shot at your treads. I'll go over this once I'm able to play a tanking map. I don't have any tanking footage yet. I haven't had one of those maps come up, and I'll explain some of those details. But basically, there's a couple different spots on tanks that you want to aim for, little critical hit areas. One of those is the lower 1/3. The lower 1/3 of a tank, in the front of it, is a critical hit zone. Anywhere on the treads all along the tank are critical hit areas, and then anywhere on the back of it is a critical hit area. Light tanks, when you yeah, he's fucked. Light tanks, when you give them the old bazooka juice up the butt, that is a one-shot KO. Heavy tanks, if you give them a zook in the butt, it is it's more than one shot. It's usually 2 or 3. A very common strategy to end up taking them down is basically people go engineer. They try to change it a little bit, but basically you have these landmines, and the landmines are deadly. It's a one-shot kill. Once they go over the landmine, you're fucked. That guy's dead too. So you can kind of throw them like a discus. It's ridiculous. A great engineer. Anyway, it's very easy to kind of basically run up and suicide and kill any given tank on an avian day as an engineer. So I'm being flaked down, being shot down. Not really sure what's going on at the moment. Okay, so that I got MG42'd. That is the way that you're supposed to shoot down a plane. Basically, somebody had hopped in the top turret of MG42. I didn't get a handle mag kill, so I don't know where that was from. He got it. That would be in the top of either, I don't know, he used to be just shooting in the top one of the tanks or top of something. Basically, the MG42s, what they ended up doing is they decreased the damage that AA guns were doing to airplanes, and they buffed the damage that MGs on the top of tanks and a different stationary placements on various maps were doing. So that ended up being the preferred method to take down planes. So tankers were, well, tankers did a lot of things, but one of their things they're supposed to do is anytime they see a plane, if they do end up seeing a plane, they're supposed to stop, hit number 2 to go to the second position, and then hop on that MG and MG down those planes. The end strategy for most maps, they announced that this game was going to, back in the day, fuck, there's just so much information to say. Back in the day, there was what called CAL and CPL, Cyber Athlete Amateur League and the Cyber Athlete Professional League. These are both now defunct. They've been replaced with a variety of different leagues for different games. One of the reasons, I mean, it used to be that, I mean, there really weren't people in, I mean, at this point in time, there was no such thing as Xbox Live when this game was out. So either that or it was just coming out. I don't know. It would have been out very soon after, or it wasn't out at the time. So what happened is people played online. They played on PCs. That was all there was. The #1 most competitive, popular FPS at the time, most popular game was Counter-Strike, okay? And #2 was Battlefield. Battlefield, anyway, well, to get to the point I was saying before, it was announced that Battlefield was going to go to CPL. CPL was held in like Texas, I think, every year. That was where the teams were required to go to and actually fly down and make a local showing of who's gonna, you know, be the best of the best when everybody's playing, you know, even Steven on LAN connection versus, you know, all these goofy connections that everybody gets all over the country. So what happened is when this was announced, what it did was it caused basically anyone who was anyone to come out of the woodwork and start taking this game competitively. I believe it was Revival, who was probably the best team at the time. It was funny because they weren't actually necessarily composed of the greatest individual skill, but they ended up crushing everybody in strats and scrims and things like that. The end-all, be-all, here I go, getting shot down, oh my god, now I'm going to have to go on ground, this is going to be bad. Someone's going to get fucking brutalized, and it's not going to be me. So, anyway, they ended up specializing, anyway, what the end-all be-all strategy broke down to was that planes were actually not used to take down any vehicles throughout the maps. Planes were used to head over to the enemy's base, and what they did was they spawn camped the vehicles as they came up again. So it was the infantry and the tankers in the field. It was their prerogative to take down the tanks, basically, or the jeeps, whatever it is, the first time. And once they went down, it was up to the planes to stay out of sight and then come in and loop bomb, essentially. Loop bomb, that's not loot bomb, I don't know what I said. Loop bomb and make sure that you never come back up again. And what happened is through basically, I don't know if we could call it attrition or what, but there you go. So I'm trying to aim at this guy's treads right now, and you can see how bouncy this cannon is. If I stop, it'll go moving forward. Anyway, so I don't know what is going on. It looks like he's hopped out, and I think his tank might have more life than mine. This looks like bots, by the way. This just looks like bots. I just am fucking up everyone in this goddamn place. I want to make sure that's a friendly. Okay, excellent. There goes that guy. And let the spawn camping commence. Okay, so this is what made this game so great. Part of, well, I guess this is part of what was so fun. If you were bad, you got fucking spawn camped, and you got spawn camped hard. This is actually not one of the worst maps for spawn camping. These guys are so terrible. I should be dead instantly in here. Just took out that guy, took out that guy. People should be hopping on AAs, feeding me AAs. I should be having engineers running up and slamming me in the back with mines constantly, det packs going out. I'm extremely paranoid at this point that something along those lines is going to happen, and it doesn't. I'll just say that now. Eventually I get bored of just sitting here. Okay, I guess you should explain that. So what I'm doing is I'm sitting on what's called a repair pad. This is what is called a shitty game mechanics, shitty game design. This is one of the things that eventually led to Battlefield's demise. This is what leads people to say things like you can't spawn camp, which is absurd, right? You can't. If you're gonna put up an imaginary line on a map and be like, you can't cross, so I'm gonna kick you. By the way, this server says that. It's just asking for shit to happen. Of course, people are gonna cross that line. Of course, people are gonna bail out. It's just part of the game. One of the ways to limit spawn camping would be disabling the ability for the opposing team to utilize a repair pad in base. It just does not make sense that I can bail out, grab one of their Tiger tanks, park it on a repair pad. It's automatically repairing and giving me ammo at the same time. See you later. And, you know, these guys are too fucking stupid to throw det packs and mines down. So, anyway, I think this guy, so this what's coming up on me, this is called a priest. It's the equivalent, it's the allies equivalent. He's parked right on top of my Tiger tank, which is great. I'm a little worried about that. I want him to go take that tank. These two idiots are sitting there butt fucking each other and just walking right past it. By the way, this entire time, my own plane is bombing me. Now one of the enemies has gotten the Tiger. Thank God I've got my ass showing to him. He could one-shot me. He's too stupid, which is excellent. He's trying to hop on the repair pad, but he's stuck. And goodbye. So sorry. Thanks for playing. I'm just going to blow this thing up. This is what's called an artillery. The Axis team has a Wesp. I think I prefer the Wesp. The Allies have what's called that Priest. So what a class that's the Scout class, they have one of their abilities is to pull out binoculars. It's a really, really cool way. I liked it a lot. They can pull out binoculars, right? And they can do what's called, they can set up a target. And what that means is if you go to the secondary view on one of the artilleries, you can shoot and you can see the target that that person sighted in on. So what it does is it allows somebody who's very far away to shoot that artillery, and if they're not blocked via, you know, line of sight or something like that for some reason, then they're able to pound a target from long range. Very, very, very deadly, potentially. What ended up happening is that while that was a cool idea in order to get people to work together, as time went on and this game became far too popular and far too competitive, you can't announce things for CPL and not expect shit to break down to a science. What ended up happening was people started pixelating, and that's part of what ruined this game too. Something like a Wesp or a tank. Anyway, very, very, very deadly. This map in particular, it's possible to... is it this map? Anyway, I can't remember all the different pixel aims. I can't remember. It's either possible to hop in one of the tanks or get a bazooka shot and fire bazookas. People are figuring out all this stuff. You can fire a bazooka at a certain range and it travels over and it'll kill the enemy planes and vehicles and stuff like that. Anyway, for any map that was possible, people figured it out. I'm going to fast forward through some of this stuff here because it's just me shitting all over their entire fucking team. And as you can see, my team has overrun. their base, and it feels fantastic. I love it. I'm really upset that both Bruce and DB aren't here to share this with me. This makes me feel good on the inside. I'm just waiting to be kicked, so I keep trying to check the score so you guys can see the score before I leave. So here I kind of head off the pad because this is just too fucking easy, and I'm gonna try to round up some of the stragglers. I could have just got right back on the pad. I don't really care anymore because I'm tired of just sitting here killing everybody. Just want to wait till this tank sort of starts. Oh, there we go, started on fire. So now I'm gonna get out. We're gonna go on foot, see what happens. So this game, regardless of what people are saying, this game, after a certain patch, it got, as you can see, oh, I just could not hit that guy. It's very difficult to reliably shoot people. That lag is still here. It diminishes somewhat with weapons that have a faster rate of fire, like the Thompson, MP40, Type 99, things like that. But it's still there. It's not reliable. Your bullets are missing. Not to mention, I mean, I've played this game for years. I know what it felt like before the patch came in. It was always speculated that it was part of Punkbuster. I think Punkbuster makes it worse. But there was a very definitive notice in hit regs, which is hits registering, after a certain patch. There you go, he had a certain grenade from somewhere, who knows. And it became unreliable, which is really, really, really frustrating, unfortunately. This guy took my plane. He's a worthless nobody. Very frustrating. Nothing I can do. I guess I'll just shoot at him a little bit. Whew! That is a mouthful. Anyway, this is a long match. I can't remember if I actually ever said it or not. This server is set to 300% ticket settings. So what that means is that the tickets are very, very high. In my opinion, 100%, 150% is where the game is meant to be played. I can't remember what match settings we're at. 150% seems, you know, pretty good. It's a little bit, make sure you really get in there and kind of enjoy it. This game is set at 310%, which is more than double that, which is why this match has gone on for a long time. This match should have ended a long fucking time ago. 300%. The reason why it's stupid, now I'm getting bombed from all over the place. Isn't that nice? The reason why 300% is stupid is because the game has typically been decided in the first 10-15 minutes anyway. And gonna hop in the AA. This guy's already gone. The game's already been decided, and like these guys have been getting fucked in the ass the entire, whatever this has been, 20-25 minutes, and there's no reason for it to go on this long. At this point in my tank's life, a single grenade or a plane or whatever would take me out, so I really want to get in on this fucking Tiger tank and try to shoot him if I can. These planes are, they really want to fucking kill me, so that may not be happening. I only have so much health. There we go. Yeah, got taken down. I'm debating about what to do. I was going to spawn in and try to landmine that Tiger tank, but instead I'm just going to spawn at the close point, run around, and kill everybody I can in the last couple kills. This is, this match, I don't know. Whatever you're seeing in this match, whatever you saw here, this would be 1,000 times fucking worse if, I mean, I went, what, 75, which is points, 73 kills and 3 deaths. This would be 1,000 times fucking worse when the hit regs were consistent. That's why this game was nice, was enjoyable. I'll get more into some other strategy on other maps. But anyway, there you go. Any questions, comments, let me know. I'll do my best to answer you guys.